my name is Beth and I am one of the naturalists with Story County Conservation. Here to talk to you today about a commonly misunderstood animal. Now, to help you figure out what we are talking about, I have put one of these animals in this bag and I'm going to give you some clues to see if you can figure out what is in here. So obviously it can fit in this bag, so it's not a cow or anything like that. So a few clues. This animal is a mammal, so it's covered in fur. This mammal is nocturnal, so it comes out at night or in the evening. This mammal has a special form of hunting that it uses. It has a little internal sonar that so it's called echolocation to help it find its prey. And this mammal is the only mammal capable of true flight. So if you have a guess, tell your neighbor or just keep it in your head and we'll see if you're right, because it's a bat. So bats, very commonly misunderstood animal, and we have them right here in Iowa, many different species of them. So let's go back over our clues and learn a little bit more about this misunderstood mammal. So like I keep saying the word mammal. So one hint that it's a mammal is that it's covered in fur, because mammals are covered in fur. Mammals also have backbones, so they have a spine, just like humans. They give birth to live babies, so again, just like humans, because humans are mammals. They are warm-blooded, which means that their temperature is always the same, no matter if you're out in the snow or you're next to a roaring fire. Your internal temperature is going to stay the same. So a mammal. Another clue I gave you was they use echolocation. So I have a little example here of how echolocation works. So this is showing echolocation. So I am the bat, Jess is the moth. So what I'm going to do is send out my signal using this rope to the moth. When the moth gets hit by the signal, she's going to send the signal back to me, and then I will know which direction to go. So she's this way, so I'm going to get closer. See how my signal is getting shorter, and when it bounces off, it comes back a lot quicker, and then I eat her. That's how echolocation works. And my last clue was they are the only mammal capable of true flight. But what about sugar gliders, Beth? What about flying squirrels? Well, that's a very good question. Those mammals do not actually fly. They glide on a flap of skin between their arm and their leg. So they are not true flyers. Now, the way bats fly, it's a very erratic kind of flight. So they don't have straight flight like a bird does. So that maybe is a little bit about what makes us uneasy about bats, but they are just flying erratically all around. However, as they are out doing that, they are helping humans out so much. How many of you enjoy going out in the summertime and doing the mosquito dance? I, for one, do not. So I thank my local bats all the time, because they are out there catching all of those insects. And the way they catch them is by having their erratic flight, and then they might take a wing and bump a bug and get it in their mouth, or they have this flap of skin in between at the base of their wings called a patagium, so they'll use that to bat the skin or bat the flies or other insects right into their mouths. Some bats, some insect-eating bats, will eat thousands and thousands of insects every single night. So think of the benefits to just the person who wants to be out at night, but also think about the benefits for our crops, for our fruit trees, for your vegetable gardens. So lots of benefits provided by bats. Now, not all bats are insect eaters. We just happen to have those here in Iowa. There are many bats out there that provide another service. They are pollinators. So they are moving the stuff from flower to help make new plants. So if you have ever partaken in anything with chocolate in it, think a bat. Cashews, think a bat. Bananas, mangoes, avocados, guava, vanilla, the stuff that makes all of our baked goods really yummy. These are just a few of the edible plants, a few of the fruits that bats pollinate for us. There's over 300 different types that they are out there pollinating. Now, not only do they pollinate, but when they are eating the fruit from these trees, as they're flying around and scatting, they are dispersing the seeds. So they are helping to replant a lot of these plants. So very beneficial to everybody around the world. Now in Iowa, because bats are warm-blooded, they cannot survive our winters. And there's also no insects out there for them to eat either. So they have to do one of two things. They will either migrate or hibernate. So they might be sleeping all winter long somewhere, or they're gonna migrate someplace warmer. So that is what our bats do. Now, sometimes you might get a bat inside your house, and then no, they're not very beneficial unless you do have a house full of insects that you want that bat to eat. So you might be thinking, how the heck did this bat find its way into my house? Well, most likely the bat that is in your house is a teenager. You know, teenagers, they don't always go where they're supposed to and sometimes find themselves in wrong places. So that's what these bats are doing. And all they want to do is get out of your house. They don't really want to be in there again unless you have a ton of insects. But a bat can find its way into your house through a hole as small as a dime. So something to look for if you do get bats in your house is to seal up a lot of those different holes. Now, once the bat's in there, that's when it starts to become a problem because you need to get that bat out. So many of you are probably standing in the middle of your room and you're just waving at the bat and you're worried it's going to get in your hair, but bats do not fly in our hair because of echolocation. They're excellent flyers, but stand off to the side. Those bats are flying down through the middle of the room and back up for gravity purposes. The gravity helps them get back up to the other side. So stay off to the side. Then eventually they will get tired and they will land, and then it's your chance to employ your handy dandy bat catching apparatus. So I think there's a bat on the wall over here. Right, so I've got my bat catching apparatus. It's simply an old can that I have decorated very poorly. I know you can do a better job at home or at school. And a piece of stiff paper. So we're gonna sneak up on this bat over here. I'm gonna make sure the open side of the can is facing the bat. And I'm gonna cover it. So I got it. So the bat is covered, so now I'm going to use this paper. The bat does not want to be in the can. So you might hear some little squeaks of protest as you're scraping it off the wall. But now I have it safely inside my can. Few things you can do with this. You can save it for when mom or dad gets home and show it to them. Parents love those kinds of things. Or you can release it. So we're going to choose to release this bat today. So we'll come over here to the door. Because remember, this bat really does not want to be in your house. It wants to be outside. 1, 2, 3. Be free! And it's gone. So you can be a hero in your home by saving your family from the bat. Bats in Iowa do not get to be very large because we just don't grow them that big here. In fact, this is the size of a big brown bat. Now we also have, this is a very common one, a little brown bat. So not very big in size. We don't have things like the flying fox of South America who have this big of a wingspan. Those bats do not live here in our state. The smallest bat does not live here either. That is this one, the bumblebee bat. They live in Thailand, but it is just tiny. Now, bats are very similar to humans. Yes, we are mammals, so we do share a lot of those same traits. But if you look at our skeletons, like this looks vaguely human, except for when you get to the arms and the hands. So bats have modified hands. So this is their thumb. So it'd be, if I was shrunk down to this bat size, from my shoulder to my elbow, and from my elbow to my wrist, and my thumb would all be that same size. However, it's when you get to those fingers that things change. So they have these elongated fingers with a web of skin in between them. Now, if my fingers were as big as a bat's, they would be 6 feet long. So very much elongated. Their wings are extremely thin. Think of a garbage bag stretch. So very thin wings. So lastly, I want to talk about what you can do to help all of these different bats around the world, okay? Starting with those right here in Iowa. So one of the problems that bats are facing, just along with any other animal out there, well, most animals, not all, are facing this, is a loss of habitat. So they just don't have a place to live. So to help them out, you can put a bat box in your yard. Now, Bat Conservation International has many different plans. Well, not many plans. They have the right plan for you to use when building a bat house, because there are specific things that bats need out of that house. Because we want to keep these creatures flying around, helping us out every single night, whether they're eating insects here in Iowa or pollinating fruit for us. Thank you for listening about bats, this very, as I said, misunderstood creature. If you have more questions or want more information about bat houses, Bat Conservation International is a wonderful organization who is all about protecting bats and increasing awareness of all the benefits of having them in our lives. Thank you.